The Houston Texans keep their playoffs hopes alive after they went into Indianapolis and beat the Colts in Week 13. Now they travel to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who are desperate for a win. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. We're going to break down this Week 14 Sunday Night Football matchup and provide our predictions at the end. So be sure to stay tuned, leave a comment, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button to get notified when new videos come out. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Let's see if we can make that possible. And Ryan, let me set the stage for you here. With today's win, the Houston Texans are 7-5 and the first team out of the playoffs as of right now. They're a game back from Buffalo, but they do have the tiebreaker over them. But there's a lot of teams at 8-4. The Kansas City Chiefs are the 10th seed as of right now, so third team out of the playoffs, sitting at 6-6. Still wild to see Patrick Mahomes in this position this late in the season here. So major game for both teams in general, but particularly for the Chiefs here, because not only are you a game back from Houston, if you lose this game, you're 2 games back, and you don't have the tiebreaker against them, and you don't have the tiebreaker over the Bills, the Chargers, or the Jags. And the only team you currently have the tiebreaker over, and then also the Texans in this case, in this scenario too, would be the Ravens, but the Ravens might win the AFC North, so that might not even matter. And so, do or die situation here for Kansas City. And so we'll get into that more here. But the Texans, they made a turnaround over their slow start. Offense playing a little bit better. CJ Stroud threw for 276 yards today against the Indianapolis Colts here. So some of these younger receivers are starting to pick up. Said Jaden Higgins, Xavier Hutchinson, for example. Also, Cade Stover too. Is he the rookie tight end or is he second year tight end? I'm trying to remember.
I believe he's a second-year
Uh,
guy.
Second year, yeah, 2024. And so starting to connect with them here, which is kind of scary to see here for any team because, man, if this Texans team makes the playoffs, I do not want to go against this defense whatsoever.
No, not at all. This pass rush is terrifying. They had another good performance today against the Indianapolis Colts, as they only let up like 281 yards of total offense to the number one offense in the league at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just, a team I do not want to be playing. And the other thing that I think that's scary is this offense is really just now finding its rhythm. CJ Stroud has been out with a concussion for 2 or 3 games, and Davis Mills was in there. But this offensive line has really started to play better. This running game, I think, especially with the emergence of Woody Marks, has started to play better as well. And then, when you have a top 2, top 3 defense in the league, I do think that this offense, it takes some of the pressure off them to have to go out there and perform at each and every possession, just because they can lean on this defense because they know that they're gonna go out and get them a turnover or two, or make the crucial stop. So obviously you still want to go out and put up a lot of points, but take some of that pressure off of this offense. But we haven't seen like the blown protections that we saw from this offensive line early on in the year. They're starting to block better in unison in the run game. And I think when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Chiefs this year, they're losing on the margins, and they've lost they're 1-6 in 1-score games, if I'm not mistaken.
I think their one win was against the Colts in
Yeah,
Week 12.
and this year, like, they're just losing on the margins where they're just making 1 or 2 more mistakes. And when you look at a team like Houston that is starting to shore up a lot of those mistakes, and this defense is playing at this high of a level, it's a really tough matchup for the Chiefs, I think, in a do or die situation.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, and especially too, and I think to your point about the margins, because I'll stand by this. I know we had a great debate on our preview video for the Chiefs Cowboys game, but I think this Chiefs team is a lot better than the Super Bowl team last year.
Yeah.
It just I think they're more explosive. I think they could be more dynamic on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe I've thought about it. I mean, they lost Justin Reed in free agency, but I mean, so maybe that's kind of a fault, but not really. I still really like this defense as a whole and what Steve Spagnuolo is doing. I think to your point, it's like when you talk about the margins, it is a game of inches, and they just have just slowly just been like just they'll lose an inch or something like that a play, And that's what goes to show like then they're losing by 3 points by the end of the game here. So and like perfect example, like last year they beat Denver because of a block field goal on a chip shot, and this year Denver I think made a 50-yarder to beat them, like in a
Yeah.
back and forth kind of crazy game. And so um, I think when this one here too, what has allowed for this offense to be this good and more explosive is I think they've really hit on a couple pieces on the offensive line side of the ball. And unfortunately, though, I think those pieces are going to be out for this game. Josh Simmons, he's out with a fractured hand, a dislocated fractured wrist, uh, to be specific here. So I have to monitor to see what's going to happen with him as a whole, if he's going to be put on IR, if he's going to try and fight it out. Because I guess technically, I mean, I guess you could put a club on it, if you're an offensive lineman and just start punching the guy. But Trey Smith's been out as well too. He got hurt during the Colts game. Jawan Taylor got banged up as well too. Jawan Taylor's the worst piece on that offensive line, but still though, I mean, if he's starting, then I don't want to know who the right tackle is. I take that back. Jalen Moore has been good. The issue is going to be if you have to do Jalen Moore and Wanya Morris at the same time,
Yeah.
while also then losing Trey Smith as well too. That's
Against these two
where
pass rushers.
yeah, against Will Anderson and Neil Hunter, who are just absolute beast. So that's where it's going to cause for some concern. So everything that I've thought about with the Chiefs, where I think what's made them more dynamic, I think also Rashi Rice coming back healthy, he's a speedster. Um, I think that like it fits really well into this whole offense here. But if this offensive line is banged up, that was their kryptonite last year. This offensive line sucked,
Yeah.
and now you're going to be going up against this Houston team who can get after the quarterback, and they're leading the league in sacks, right? If I'm not mistaken here. No, they have 34 sacks on the season, which makes them six. But they are constantly getting after the quarterback there. They're first in total yards allowed, third in passing yards allowed, fifth in rushing yards allowed here too. So
Yeah.
it's not only do they have a good defensive line, I like the linebacking room here as well too. Have to monitor Aziz Al Shair. He got banged up during this game here, so I have to see what his overall status is going to be. Also, Jalen Reed, he left with a forearm injury as well too. It might have actually been a broken forearm, but still waiting on reports for that. So still some things to monitor. But even too, though, I like the secondary led by Derek Stingley. They're all super young too, which is even scarier. So I'm very curious if the Chiefs' offensive line is this depleted, how they're going to move the ball against this Houston Texans defense. It's going to be a rowdy environment, prime time in Arrowhead, but
Mhm.
it's still going to be a very tough task for Patrick Mahomes and this team.
Yeah, and for me, I think what the season kind of falls back on is this Chiefs team is kind of Patrick Mahomes playing Superman or bust. And I think even like we'll go look at this Cowboys game, for example. It's 3rd and 11. I think it was 3rd and 11. Patrick Mahomes is scrambling for his life, and then he extends the play like beyond 5 seconds, and then Xavier Worthy is finally able to uncover over the middle, and he hits him for a 50-yard gain.
That was a wild
That
play.
that is like you cannot live that way on a consistent basis, even with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. And if this offensive line is this banged up, kind of jump into predictions here. I do not see. I guess I do see a world where the Chiefs could win this game with this offensive
Oh
line
yeah,
this banged up. But like, I just, especially in a year where the things have just not gone the Chiefs' way, I really struggle to see Houston letting them come in there and put up more than 17 points. Unless Patrick Mahomes is just throwing like dot after dot after dot 50 yards down the field and has multiple like explosive touchdowns in this game. I just think that the Texans are going to be able to come in there. They're going to be able to manage the clock, hold on to the ball, and this defense is just going to be able to do whatever they want with this offensive line. There's going to be no run game, and Mahomes is going to be under pressure on 50% of his dropbacks.
yeah, yeah. No, there's absolutely a world where the Chiefs can win this game.
Yeah,
It's
I
even
agree.
we're talking about all that. There's still so much speed that's in this room here as well. Travis Kelsey, I think, has definitely kind of had a season resurgence as well too. I think in addition to teams having to kind of play like more cover shell, there's a lot of space in the middle for him to get the ball in. Him and Mahomes have reconnected. Not like things dropped off, but I think it was to go and show last year, like, especially with Rashee Rice getting hurt. It's like, well, let's put a lot more pressure here on this weekend offensive line. Let's cover the middle of the field a little bit more here. And it took away a lot of opportunities. So there's absolutely still a world where the Chiefs go and win. I still don't think it's going to be tonight. I I think one of the things here is I think this defense is just too good, and if this offensive line, if they are without Josh Simmons, who I love watching him play, I'm glad he's back. Trey Smith is one of the better guards in the league as well too, and if he's out again, it's going to be a huge loss to that interior. And if Jawan Taylor's out as well too, you're really going to have to lean on these guys, and they're already not the best rushing team in general. They're 16th. The Kansas City Chiefs are in rushing yards allowed, but not I don't say more majority of it, but Patrick Mahomes' scrambling abilities helps prop that number up a good bit. I would say if you probably just account for running backs are probably in the 20s.
Mid 20s.
I'd say mid 20s here. So I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball extremely well against this Texans team. And even too, on top of that, you got a good back half of that defense as well. Now, one thing we haven't really touched too much on, we touched a little bit on of it a little bit, is how the Houston Texans offense is going to go against Kansas City Chiefs defense. Kansas City Chiefs defense is really good also. They're above average as well. If I go look at the stats here, they're 9th in total yards allowed, 12th in passing yards, 9th in rushing yards allowed. So Chris Jones is going to be a big player as well too. Something that the Texans are really going to have to worry about on the interior side as well. But to your point, though, the emergence of Woody Marks, they have that 1-2 running back combo going there. Now, Woody Marks, he did get a little hurt today as well too. Had to monitor his overall status. I hope it's nothing too crazy. Looked like his ankle got a little rolled up on, but maybe he's going to be.
He
able
did
to
return to
he,
the game.
he did return to that.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, so even then though too. So uh, sometimes with some of those things, when I've had those in the past, it's like you sprain it and like you keep the boot on, and so you're fine. But then when you take it off and throughout the week, you're like, oh my gosh, I can barely
Yeah.
walk. So that's where it's has to just wait and monitor throughout the week here. But he's probably going to be good to go. But had that running back combo there. CJ Stroud's getting more comfortable. These young receivers are propping up here as well too. I think offensively, I think the Texans will be fine. They'll struggle just like how most teams do against this Chiefs defense. But I think the biggest X factor, though, is going to be if the Chiefs offensive line is this weak going up against this Texans offense. I do think it's going to be a very tough time for them to move the ball down the field. And that's why I changed my pick in the middle of this video. I'm going to go with Houston here on this one. I think solely just because of this offensive line and it's injury depletion. Now, if all those guys are able to go, then I might be able to consider talking myself into a victory. A change in pick here for the Kansas City Chiefs victory. But until then, though, that this defense is just too top notch.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and obviously, like the Chiefs are 1-6 in one-score games. Last year, they were like 11-0. So
Yeah,
usually in one-score games, you're about 500. So the Chiefs won way too many one-score games last year. They are losing way too many one-score games this year. So two things: one, it's a law of averages, and two, I think the Chiefs are much better than their record says they are. They probably should be in like the 9-3, 9-4 range at this point in the season. And so for me, I'm still going to go with Houston, but yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. Texans are going to get all they can handle. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this Sunday night football matchup. Will it be the Houston Texans? Will it be the Kansas City Chiefs? Then that we'll see you guys next time.